I'll talk.
Game resumed.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ESET UK Masters Show Match Series. I'm learning. With me is Mados. And as our players are chatting around a little bit in the chat about this map version, Mados is going to handle the introductions.
In the lower left position, we have the blue Terran player. Currently, 2-3 down. We do have KraSS. And his opponent up in the top right, showing that regardless of being dropped constantly, his late game play is sublime. It is, of course, ToD as the red Protoss.
Yeah, it is the red Protoss, hailing from France, of course. He's going to be building up his 10 workers, as usual, steady play. We've seen the early game between these two players so many times right now, and so many long games. We've seen them be aggressive early on. We've seen them be very passive early on. And judging this map, it's probably going to be passive early on once more. Just macro play, because let's face it, this map favors macro play a big deal.
Yep, it is a huge, huge map that you can spawn in, I believe, any of the positions. And as a result, then you don't know where your opponent is. It's very difficult to cheese early on when you just have to run so far to scout. But yeah, I'm reckoning that we could potentially be seeing KraSS go for multitasking, multiple drop angles and stuff, as we've seen him do every game this series. ToD, I reckon he's just going to try and pump it to the late game, to be honest, because he's been really effective there. May even go for, well, I don't know, he may try and switch things up, because currently he's gone for really the same strategy throughout, which is just going for those late game composition of Colossi with High Templar.
I was hoping he would go for a Nexus first on this map, as KraSS is going to be going Command Center first, because it's so big. It's the biggest map we've played so far today. It's even a lot bigger than Star Station is, so why not throw out that Nexus first? I mean, you can in this position, especially with KraSS playing passive early on, not really opening Reapers often, and just expanding super early on. I'm a little bit disappointed to see ToD not go for Nexus first, but he is going to be expanding before Mothership Core this time.
Yep, that is fine. And of course, the one thing that's worth noting as well is I think that if you're going to do it on any map, get a Nexus first down, it would be this one, because let's face it, it's not like you're going to get Proxy 2-axed, because you don't know where your opponent is. So it is probably the safest map with just how long the rush distance is. But ToD just playing it a little bit safe, getting up one gate out, going to go over with the Zealot, perhaps going to try and harass this natural.
Yeah, he's gonna try, but like we said, it's such a long way to run. If KraSS just builds a bunker, there's gonna be absolutely no problem. And I think that bunker is barely gonna get up in time. Maybe the Zealot will be able to sneak by, but by that time we'll have a few Marines out on the field to deal with it. The first Marine is now out, second Marine on the way. The second barracks has finished up, so by the time the Zealot gets there, there's gonna be like 3 Marines, and he should be fine, really. I mean, it's a big map.
It's a big, big map indeed. Behind this, of course, we just got ToD getting his natural up. He's getting up the second gas as well. This Zealot boldly starting to wander forward and could just try and pick off an SCV. And I think that's going to be the main aim.
Ooh, the bunker did not get up, and actually we're going to have to see KraSS micro a little bit, and microing a little bit is what he's doing. He does lose an SCV. Oh, a bit of a miss micro there on the Zealot, and the Zealot is going to end up dying. Beautiful micro there by KraSS, nevertheless, only losing a single SCV to that Zealot, which is a fair trade, about even.
Yeah, that's fine. Losing an SCV isn't... It's more problematic that the bunker was delayed a little bit if there was going to be any follow-up, but of course, as we can see, there's not. Just a one gate into the Nexus, into a robotics facility. Quick tech, quick economy, which is precisely how you should be playing a very big map.
Yeah, it is. It is. Some good points being made there, as Rude ToD is showing that he is going to be super passive himself, dropping down the robo, dropping down 2 additional gateways. The SCV did get to see the robo, didn't get to see the 2 additional gateways in the back. We could still see ToD drop down like another 5 gateways and go for some ridiculous all-in, but it's really looking slow and steady. Slow and steady.
Slow and steady does usually win the race, but for KraSS, he's also going slow and steady. He's got his stim coming out, his factory ready to start getting a starport and medevacs out. The Mothership Core only just now coming down, and I've got to say, this is a bit of an odd timing for the Mothership Core, to be honest, because you tend to see it either off of the one base or when the natural base is saturated for minerals. So 16 probes at the natural mineral line, and then you get it out then. So this is a very, very interesting timing for it. out of ToD, especially when he saw that his opponent had gone for that CC first build.
So you're making some good points there, Manos, about the Mothership Core timing, but we have seen a relatively low amount of games in Heart of the Swarm so far, and there's really no determined meta game yet when to get that Mothership Core, and it's interesting to see different players get it at different timings, at different points in the game. It's cool to see, and it gives me a bit of a handle to be like, okay, so ToD gets his Mothership Core when his natural worker line is almost saturated, but not quite just yet, which is an interesting timing. I can work with that, and it's cool to watch other Protosses do that.
Yeah, there's lots of different timings you can go for, but as we're seeing now, we've got that observer on its way across, just about to make it into the main base to get a quick look. Got to be careful though, because there's a missile turret in the main base trying to deny that scouting, so if it gets picked off by those 4 Marines there, that would be problematic, and it is going to go down.
Yep, no attention was paid to that poor observer, but we got his brother about to run into the same fate. Hopefully this observer brother of the first one is going to be put on a different course. It is on a different course, actually. It should be fine. Will not get into range of that missile turret.
Now, what's absolutely splendid for ToD is the fact that he's got down the robotics facility, he's getting down the Twilight Council and some additional gateways, so he's keeping all of his options open, as we've seen in previous games. He's not committing to either Colossi or to High Templar yet, but of course he can go for both very quickly should he want. For KraSS, meanwhile though, he is happily getting out the +1. He's got Stim finished. He's going to have Combat Shield done by the time he's across the map as well, so could potentially now just be going for a nice little timing push with infantry.
Could be. He has his Medivacs coming out. He is moving out. The Observer, though, is on the tail of this, once again, pretty much pure Marine army. The Combat Shield upgrade, not quite done yet, needs another 50 in-game seconds, so that upgrade is not going to be done just yet, has to wait around a little bit. Will have +1 finished up, though, which is a bit of a weird thing to see. Marines with +1, but no Combat Shields.
Well, I hate to say it, but guess what? Drops are going to be coming down yet again. KraSS, slightly predictable in his play, but there are some Stalkers getting pulled back up. This Medevac is going to have to get back out of there and turn tile and run. But still, this is just buying time for Combat Shields to finish up. It's only got another 12 seconds until completion, and that's really when, should KraSS want to go, he very well may.
He may. We've got a factory at the top of the map. There's an observer in position to spot for any drops that try to go into the main base. The dropship is... No! Oh, the Stalkers are going to get it.
That is very unfortunate. That dropship going down is a big loss at this stage of the game. That was probably, roughly speaking, about a third of KraSS's army there. And to be honest, that's not what you really want. Even though reinforcements are coming back over, what KraSS really needed was a big push up if he was going to go for it. Instead, this is just giving ToD the opportunity to take his third. KraSS already has his up, but it's the blink play that I'm really interested in, is how is he going to use that blink so early on, because he hasn't gone for a Templar Archives or a robotics base, so no splash available.
That's pretty cool. I suggested that earlier in the series that Root...
the double drop is going to force the cancel at this third base of ToD, and, well, if it gets picked up, it could just go straight into the main base. We'll wait to see, but there's a couple of Stalkers there in preparation for it, and this is just ToD shutting it down absolutely brilliantly. Yeah,
he is shutting it down. I did call him Root ToD there for a second, because that's the name that he uses as his idea in HOTS right now. And as another army of KraSS is getting picked up, oh my god, ToD is on top of his defense. Is he going to get a Medevac here in the main base? Oh, so close. That Medevac took a lot of damage. Only 54 HP left. KraSS trying to make things work with his multitasking, but he can't. It's not working.
And it's just like you spoke about in a couple of games ago, Lurlin, is that drop play is great if you start snowballing with it. If the first few drops don't do anything, which ultimately they haven't this game, you can start getting behind. Your opponent can really just tech and get everything coming together nicely. We see the Templar Archives are now coming out, and KraSS actually getting a bit of a misread here. He's getting level 1 ship weapons, so that is directly preparing for Colossus rather than High Templar.
It is. It is. So he's getting ready.
Oh my goodness, there's a triple drop. Trying to come down to the right, but there's Stalkers there. Oh, that was good reactions out of KraSS. Sorry to interrupt you, Lurlian.
Yeah, I saw it at the same time. I thought we might have a drop at the third base, but that's just a factory passing by. Just a slow factory saying hi. A blink, by the way, wasn't done yet, Maddles, in that little skirmish there. If he had blink, he could have blinked under those 3 medevacs and done a lot of damage. But it looks like the third base is going to be pressured while the drops are going into the natural. Let's see how this is going to unfold. Is he finally going to do that damage that he also desperately needs?
Well, there's no units there, Lurly, and we can see that so many units getting chucked out. A lot of probes are going down here, already racking up 14 probe kills there. But KraSS, he needs to get back out there, loading up boost. Should be going down any second. The photon overcharge doesn't quite manage to kill that, but 2 medevacs very low indeed. Meanwhile, another triple drop moving up towards the third base. A scan goes off just to see what's there and whether it can be taken out.
Looks like the drops in the right side of the map are gonna get taken down. No, there's not enough zealots there. And the Archon is a little bit late on warping in, and a lot of units gonna get killed while warping in here. This is ToD taking some heavy losses here on the right side of the map, but has also taken out a medevac and a few units. So both players just trading relatively evenly. As ToD is now gonna be moving out, the medevacs are gonna be moving in.
Yep, that triple drop coming into the main base does get spotted by the observer, but look at how far out of position that army is. And KraSS yet again just showing that he knows what he's doing. A good double feedback though on those medevacs nearly kills them, but the zealots, they're going to make it back. But so many units are going to die here. And where's KraSS going to push at the same time? Would he go up into the natural?
Oh, KraSS is actually retreated with his army a little bit, has a small portion left, is gonna lose most of his units in the main base, but they have definitely traded effectively. This drop play, man, KraSS, he really has no alternative. He just drops, and tries to get his upgrades up, and he is finally expanding more. This is really, really good. I'm really happy to see this out of KraSS. Finally some expansions.
That fourth base is going to be so essential, but I want to touch a little bit on the upgrades. We see that KraSS has already got 2-2 done, and he's got +3 already half complete. Compare that to the fact that it's only 1-2 for ToD at the moment. So that slight upgrade advantage for KraSS will give him some nice little timing windows where he can really start crushing this army, because there are only those 5 High Templar out. Storm is done, but the robotics bay only just getting started now.
Yeah, so Colossi are a long way away. Did he actually produce any Vikings? No, he did not. So good read there by our German Terran player. He did not produce those Vikings. Would have been... Actually, he starts to produce them now. Has he seen the robotics bay? Must have. Must have gotten a scan off or something, or just spider senses, obviously. I mean, you're not going to stay on Templar tech the entire game. You're going to switch sometime. So I like the decision out of KraSS to make a few Vikings already, even though there's no Colossi on the field yet.
I also like the fact that KraSS is getting a good number of scans off. He's making sure that observers aren't following his army, because that's what's really shut down his early drop play, was having the observer there. Is ToD was able to react, seeing when the medevacs were picking up on which way they were going.
Yeah, indeed it was, Maddles. Now, here, are we going to see an engagement? Looks like we are, because...
Oh, there's a drop in the main base already. A couple of single medevac working Marine getting an awful lot of kills on all of the probes, and we can see that no reaction is being made by ToD right now. He's putting his units back, but that is exposing the third nexus so dramatically to the majority of the army. A good storm goes down though, forcing KraSS back for the moment, but well, drops coming down, more storms hitting. This is multi-prong harassment to the max, and ToD has lost so much, Lurlian.
He has lost a lot. KraSS is looking good. He has those upgrades. 3-2 versus the only 2-1 on the Protoss, and ToD is down by 20 supply already before he starts this engagement, and this engagement is not looking good for him at all. He doesn't have the storm, he doesn't have the AoE damage, and this is going to be a very, very easy fight for this Terran player to win.
Yep, as we see, KraSS, he's already taken out the majority of the probes in the main. He takes out this third nexus as well. The standing army for ToD just isn't enough to deal with it. Over double the supply at the moment for KraSS compared to ToD, and well, as we can see, we've got a couple of High Templar desperately trying to get over to get some storms up. The Archons are taking a lot of damage. I hear some snipes going off, and while it looks like ToD is going to force KraSS back in the short term, long term, he is just in such a good position.
Yeah, he is. All the Templar going down. They barely did not have enough energy for those storms they so needed. And the third base has been shut down. The fourth base is next on the menu for the Terran player here. The Protoss trying to do something here, but he has not got any Colossi out on the field just yet, and the ones that he had got killed off. How is he ever going to stop this Bioball?
Well, even if he cleans this out, which he may be able to finish off these last few units, look at the amount of units moving past the watchtower now. Just so many Marines and Ghosts there. Just an incredible size of force moving up towards where the third base was. The fourth Nexus was taken out as well, so that means that we currently have a 4-base Terran player up against a 2-base Protoss. We've got the 5th Orbital Command down. We've got more barracks being added on. KraSS is looking to be absolutely sensational in this 6th game.
Yeah, 65 supply left for our French Protoss player, and he's going to be retreating up his natural. There he goes, leaves the game. GG. I thought it was a good game.
Yeah, I thought it was a very good game.
I thought it was a good game. ToD did not think it was a good game, apparently, but he is going to be losing up this one, guys. This was the 6th game in this series, and myself and Mattles are going to be taking a really quick break, and we should be back to you with Game 7 in this amazingly close series between these two European powerhouses in just a minute.